Hello and welcome to your new budget spreadsheet. In this video, we'll go through how to use the templates sheet by sheet. Let's start with the configuration sheet. Begin by entering your name and the date on which you will start using the file. This date represents the beginning of your financial management journey. Now enter the names of the accounts you want to track for income, expenses and investments, and input the balance for each account as the date indicated above. As you can see in the chart next to it, the initial balance and the current balance for each account begin to appear, taking into account the transactions made over time. Monitor this from time to time together with the current column. You'll see how your finances evolve over time. On the right, you can note down your personal goals. It will be interesting to see whether you achieved them or if there's still something to improve. Keep in mind that this file can be used for many years, and at the bottom you'll always be able to track the accumulated balance of your accounts over time. Now let's move on to the budget sheet. Here you'll find the standard categories for income and expenses. For each category, estimate an average amount that you expect to receive or spend, including investments. Once you start setting your monthly budget for income, expenses, investments and savings, you'll be able to monitor your financial performance and understand where you can improve. If your expense budget is not aligned with your actual spending, you may need to adjust it, or you might realize that you're spending more than expected in certain categories. After entering all expenses, try to allocate a budget between necessary and discretionary spending, using the 50-30-20 rule, showing the percentages on the side. Do the same for investments and your budget will be complete. Based on the information entered, we can now start tracking transactions, which will be then aggregating monthly in this table. Here we'll record all your daily transactions, income, expenses and investments. Using sample data, we'll walk through an example starting with an investment. As you can see, when the type is investment, you don't need to fill the category and macro category columns. They become grayed out. Complete the transactions by entering the amount and an optional description. For expenses, however, you will always be required to specify both the category and the macro category, indicating whether it is a necessary or discretionary expense. Among the expenses related to your CAD account, there may be withdrawals, which represent income for your cash account. In this case, you will record an expense for the CAD with the withdrawal category and an income for cash with the same category. The same logic applies to transfers. A transfer is an expense for one account and an income for another, other than cash. For example, when transferring money from a card to StudiesPay. Income entries do not require a macro category, so you only need to specify whether it is a salary or another type of income. Continue entering all transactions you may encounter during the month. Once you've finished entering all transactions and amounts, go back to the budget sheet. You will immediately see a summary of all income, expenses and investments on a monthly basis. This allows you to understand whether you performed better or worse than your initial budget in terms of savings. Remember the rule: savings equal income minus expenses minus investments. The budget sheet also allows you to analyze your expenses, which are the main lever for improvement. You can select an expense category and a time period to see the differences between actual expenses and the planned budget. You will also always have access to the top 10 expenses ranking, so you now know exactly where most of your money is going. Now let's move to the dashboard sheet, your financial control panel. At the top left, you can see the cash flow for your accounts, helping you understand how your money has moved. Scrolling down, you'll find the same view on a monthly basis. Note that withdrawals and transfers are not considered income or expenses here. The amounts shown are net values since money simply moves between accounts rather than being earned or spent. In the center, you'll find a summary of budget versus actual values. Thanks to the data from the budget sheet, a dynamic table shows all income, expenses, investments and savings based on the selected time period, which you can choose at the top right. This allows you to always have a clear comparison and understand where the main differences occur month by month. On the right, you'll find deviation charts for a quicker visual analysis. Investments and savings are grouped together due to their similar role in money management. Below, you'll see a category breakdown with easy-to-read pie charts showing the share of each category: income, expenses, investment, and savings relative to the total. You also see percentage that help you understand whether you're saving at least 20% of your income, as suggested by the 50-30-20 rule. On a dashboard sheet, you only need to adjust the year and time period. Everything else updates automatically. The final check we suggest is back on the configuration sheet. At the beginning, you enter the initial balances of your accounts. Then you record the transactions. Now the current values have changed. As a result, the chart showing your savings over time has also updated. You can see at the bottom. We've reached the end of this video tutorial. Remember that the user manual sheet is always available for additional guidance on how to use the template. Thank you for choosing us. Feel free to contact us for anything and follow us on your social channels.